righty. What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here with College Admission Secrets. Welcome back to their free training here in our UC Admission Secrets Facebook group. I am here live with folks on Zoom. We have over 200 people so far on Zoom. We are going live on Facebook. Wherever you're joining me, if you guys can go to the chat really quick, drop a grade. What grade are you guys in right now? I love to kind of see who is tuning in live with us. I love watching the replays, the folks in the past share as well. So you go ahead and drop if you are a senior 2025, if you are a junior 2026, you're a sophomore 2027, freshman 2028, our middle school friends 29, 30, 31. If you're community college as well, you might be 24, 23, 22, 21, one of the combinations. Go ahead and drop it in the chat so I can see who is here today. So we can go ahead and kind of carry this training for you guys here live. We got mixes of everyone today. We got 11s, we got 12s, we got 10s, we got 12s, lots of 12s. We got ninth grader, more freshmen, more juniors, more seniors. We got seniors from non-California. We got California seniors. Really quick in the chat as well too, drop a 1 if it's your very first time joining us here today, and drop a 1 if it's your very first call with us, and go ahead and drop a 2 if you've been here once or twice. You've been here once or twice as well. Hey, all right, lots of ones. Awesome. Let's do a quick little intro. What's up, guys? My name is Coach Tony. I'll be your host for today. Fun little background, I actually was a former UC Berkeley admissions reader, which meant when people applied to Berkeley, I was one of the people who said yes and no to application. A lot more no's than yeses. That's kind of how I got to understand the admissions process really, really well. You start to see yes kids do stuff in common, no students have stuff in common. And that's kind of how we've been helping families with the college admissions process. Just do more yes stuff, avoid the no stuff. Today, I actually attended the 2024 UC Councelor Conference. So every single year, the UCs host a little conference open to counselors. I stuck my way in, so too. Tons and tons of amazing workshops. For the most part, not a lot of new stuff. If you've been again, for those who've been with us for a while and you attended my UC Councelor Conference of 2023, not much has changed. I would say there are a few new things, a few caveats, nothing significant though. I think that's the big ones. But if it is your very first time joining us today, it's gonna be a really fun training, right? Today, usually every single week we go live, we do a really cool training for you guys. This week is not really a training, or I guess it is. It's more like a brain dump for me, right? So I have a lot of these notes. I have my notes on this monitor. I scribbled. I took like Mickey Mouse notes on my end. My goal, I'm just going to go ahead and just type them up nicely for those who want my notes. Again, for those in Zoom, I'm going to go ahead and drop this up in the chat for you guys, for those in Zoom. And then for those of you on watching the replay, if you want to copy my notes, just text us. This is my number. Go ahead and just text me. By the way, I may got a lot of text, so if I'm slow, apologies. Give me like a day to get back to all the messages as well too. So I can get you guys there, right? So again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ramble. I want to ramble if that's okay with you guys. And I'm just gonna ramble, share my notes. I went to several workshops today. I think some of them are nice refreshers. Some of them are, ooh, that's new, that I haven't learned yet or haven't heard on in a long time. So feel free to, again, for those of you in Zoom, those of you on Facebook, drop your questions and chats. I'll kind of pause every few minutes and kind of see if I can answer any questions for you guys. In chat land, if you guys can go ahead and put it in the Q&A. Zoom, put it in Q&A because chat likes to go wild. I love to talk to you guys during these presentations, so I might miss it if you put in chat, okay? So the first thing that they always start up with is an update on the UC system, right? So they always share a few updates for all of us to know about things that they are working on or things that they are doing as well. So again, admission rate goes up again. Went up another 4.3%. So again, admission only gets more competitive, doesn't get any easier as well. The UCs, for those who do or do not know, UCs are test free, right? UCs are test free, which is basically the same thing as test blind. It's not inclusive to say blind, so they call it test free, which means Your SAT and your ACT means nothing in the admissions process. They don't look at it. They don't consider it for anything part of the process, right? So in fact, on the record today, they said, and I quote, has no plans to reverse the test-free policy in the foreseeable future. Right? I called it. I called it last year. And then it has stood the test of time. So the UCs are not going to go back to test required. So at least if you're a junior, no need to take the test for you guys this year. I'm very confident next few years you guys are, again, safe as well too. Again, we may consider SAT if you're going to take it the next few years, but just for the sake of the UCs, nope, do not need to do that here, right? And the reason why they're doing this is that the first cohort of test free, which is 2021, so 2021 class, right? There was no noticeable declines in average GPA and persistence rates, meaning the number of people who went from freshman year to sophomore, because some people don't make it, right? Some people don't make it, they get kicked out of the school as well. So no, as a result, it was fine. So that is going to be the thing there. They talked about changes. They talked about changes to the app, right? If those who were joining me a few weeks ago, literally the same, I think same day, or if not like a few days after the app came out, I did a breakdown of exactly page by page exactly what the app is, and I told you guys no changes, which I think I was off by a little bit. There is one change in the app. I don't think it's gonna be a big difference though. So the UC app for 2024, 2025, there is one change. They changed the word freshman to first year. That was the change this year. Every year they always do, like I think last year they changed the word preferred name to live name. Year before that was another big change where they moved sections around. But this year, that was the extent of our changes. So if you didn't know, there's no more word freshman on your app. It's called first year on the app there. Okay. For the first time, they are extending the deadline as well too. So this year, so anyone who's class of 2025, currently right now, your application is due on Monday, December 2nd, right? Typically, these are November 30th, right? For years now. But they changed it up this year, so it's going to be November 2nd. You can start submitting as early as October 1st. So it's October 1st. So that's that there. There are two new APs, right? So some of your schools have it, some schools don't have it. Two new APs. There's an AP African American Studies, and there's a new AP Pre-Calculus, right? Those are the two new AP classes that they offer. So with the AP African American Studies, right, you will get 4 quarter 2.6 semester units if you get a 3, 4, or 5 on the exam. For AP Pre-Calculus, no credit for the exam. Even if you get a passing score, that's what I mean, no credit. If you get a 4 or 5, right, it will validate math number 3. Meaning if you get a score of 4 or a score of 5 on the AP pre-calc exam, it'll count. Let's say you skipped math 3 for whatever reason, or your third year algebra 2. Some of you guys in Common Core math 3, some of you guys in old school math, they call it algebra 2, right? If you skipped algebra 2 in theory, but you took the AP pre-calc test, you got a 4 or a 5, that would validate that. There's this whole topic on validation that I can probably do. Part of this training, it gets this really advanced training of like, if you get a D in this class, you take a C in this class, it will validate. Very nuanced, very very nuanced things there. So that is that. See what else. Quick little pause. Next section is the fun one. Everyone wants the school breakdown. But before that, anything there? They used to hint they might do their own SE or AC. Didn't say anything on that. No, I've been telling you guys, I have friends who work on that test. They have not made progress at all. But the answer is no. The originally, this is back in 2020, 2021, 2020, right? UC stated, we're going to make our own test instead of SAT or ACT. For those who don't know, this is like low key information. The reason why I'm very bold in my prediction, the UC's got sued. The UC's got sued on the exams. Therefore, we probably won't see them in a while for a long time there. Is there a benefit to applying early? Does not matter. Yes and no, right? If you apply early, you don't have to worry about it again. You're good to go. But in terms of strategically, right? No, that doesn't really help. When you apply early, it gets thrown in a pool of people, but the readers don't start yet. Like for me, our training it used to be early November. Now training's now in end of October. So pretty much if you submit October 1st, it sits there. It sits there in the queue and it gets randomized. It's not read in order either. It's not like the first app I read is the first app. No, think of it as like a washing machine, right? You put your app in, it gets in the washing machine, and they'll pull it out randomly, right? So statistically, you might get pulled up first, but doesn't mean you are the first to be read, and this and that as well too. So that's that. How are 2 units of dual enrollment viewed in terms of rigor? There's a section on dual enrollment. We'll talk about that a little bit, but dual enrollment is rigorous. So the answer is that is yes. Well, the users have their own admission. I think we just talked about that in the chat. They say it. I don't think so. Not yet. Not for a while. Right. So that's that. Next piece, Berkeley. So now we're gonna do the campus UC campus updates. Campus updates. People always love learning about schools that way. So first school is Berkeley. Berkeley had 124,000 people apply. Admit rate. Anyone want to guess? Want to guess numbers, percentages? How much percent do you think Berkeley admit rate this past year was? In the chat, go ahead. Go ahead. Right now, in the chat, drop a number. What do you think the percentage rate was? It was 11%. Admit rate for this year was 11%. So that is Berkeley's. In terms of the updates, they added one new major this year, or actually a few, but the new one, there's a new neuroscience major. So Berkeley added a new neuroscience major to their stuff. They added a new Israel studies minor to their school. They used to call had a major called ORAMS, is the Operations, Research, and Management Science, is now called Analytics. So they renamed it, and they also have a new major called Nutrition and Metabolic Biology. It used to be called just Nutrition as well too. Okay, so as that. Housing is guaranteed for 2 years here for the school, and that is Berkeley. Right, next one, Davis had 98.9 thousand applicants, right? Admit rate, anyone to guess? Wait, do they have it? They do. Admit rate is 42%. Here they have a new bachelor's, right? New bachelor's in business, the 4th business major of the UCs as well too. So it'll be open for their second. Fun fact, those who think that I want to study business at the UCs, not every school actually offers business. Davis is now the newest school, the newest UC to offer business here. Davis also has some selective majors. This means these are impacted, right? So the selective majors at Davis is this year's design, computer science, mechanical engineering, psychology, and pre-landscape architecture is the impacted majors for Davis this year. Not in this year, Palma all years. And that's pretty much it for Davis. All right, moving on. Irvine. All right, Irvine had 122.7 thousand applications this year with a 28% admit rate there. They're most applied to majors, right? Most applied to majors. Just a heads up, remember, for those who don't know this, Irvine is one of the schools, so most UCs admit by college, which means you're applying to the college that the major is housed under. Irvine is one of the few colleges that does admit directly to the major itself. So Just keeping that in mind. Keeping that in mind. Biological sciences, business administration, computer science, nursing, psychology, BS, undeclared is an impacted major. Mechanical engineering, criminology, law and society, political science, computer science engineering, right? These are the top 10. Fun, crazy fact, 50% of applicants of first years apply to these 10. Which is crazy, right? Which is super, super crazy. They do have a new major this year called new major called Applied and Computational Mathematics. They have a law 3+3 program, which means you spend 3 years of undergraduate, get accepted to their law school, 3 years of law school there. That's it. That is UCI. Awesome, awesome. Next one, UCLA. Right? UCLA. 146,000 applicants for a 9% ad rate. For those who are keeping track of the historical data, it's gone up. It's gone up, right? So it's that much easier now to get into UCLA. Last year was 7%. So a little easier, a little easier. I was joking, by the way. It is not easy, but that little bit easier as well too. Breaking down by school. This is the crazy one, right? So breaking down by college itself. So again, the UCs have different colleges, right? So that's the thing there. So if you're applying to the College of Letters and Science, which is usually the most popular major with the most popular college with the most majors in there, this year had a 11% admit rate. If you're applying to engineering, engineering has a 5% admit rate. If you're doing theater or film, right? This has a 4% admit rate. If you're doing arts and architecture, always hard to spell. 5% admit rate. Music has a 20% admit rate, and nursing 1%. Craziness, crazy as well too, right? These fun fact, the fun fact of UCLA, 49 Olympians were part of 2024 from UCLA. That's it. That is UCLA. Next one, Merced. Merced had 26K admitted over here. Top 5 majors. Top 5 majors for Merced are biological sciences, management and economics, and business economics, some pure science engineering, psychology, and public health. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. And for those of you who are aware, they are UC's first and only BSMD program. They call it the Prime Plus. This is their BSMD program. People who want to get an accelerated path to get their bachelor's and their MD as well too. It's here. Deadline for those who are applying. Deadline by November 20th. Keep in mind, earlier deadline, right? With the supplements due December 3rd, right? So a little earlier that way. Keep in mind, people always talk about this. What makes this program unique is they're trying to find, basically produce more doctors from the Valley. So they do prefer, right? They do prefer students from the San Joaquin Valley. So if you're from the San Joaquin Valley and you want to be a doctor, encourage you to look into this one, right? There's a lot of new majors. Merced, I'm just gonna read it out loud for you guys. Aerospace engineering, biomedical, biomolecular engineering. They have a new emphasis for chemical engineering, computational semiconductor. They have new emphasis for electrical engineering, electrical vehicle, ground aerial, robotics, sustainable energy. New majors in natural science, biochem, biological sciences, and ecology. In social science, they have a new communications major, neuroscience major, and science, technology, and ethnics major. So tons of new majors at Merced. Riverside. Riverside's next. Riverside had 58,000 applicants for a 44 admits. Most apply to majors. Most majors is, by the way, the more you hear these lists, you see, oh, look, they all look the same, which it is, because everywhere, everyone applies to the same thing. Biology, psychology, business economics, business administration, computer science, undeclared, sociology, mechanical engineering, biochemistry, and cell molecular biology. Those are the most. And new majors: Black studies, business analytics, environmental studies, global and community health, and religious studies. That's it for Riverside. What's next? San Diego. UC San Diego. Go Tritons, right? They had 134,000 applications with a 27% admit rate. Their most selective majors are biological sciences, data science, all engineering majors, public health. They added a few new majors this year. Oops, new majors. They adding AI, artificial intelligence, cinematic arts, literary arts, media industries, communications, structural engineering, aerospace structures, civil structures, geotechnical engineering, structural health monitoring, non-destructive evaluation. Tons of words, lots of words as well too, right? There's also most applied to schools and majors as well. So this list adds on. So a few more most applied to majors, right? Adding on to this list from above, there's also computer science, business economics, human bio, psychology, and general bio. There. And they opened up a new school of computing information data science. They will have 16 disciplines, and their majors will be announced very soon. This is mimicking kind of what Berkeley did this past year, 2 years ago, where they split out their computer science major because it was so competitive with the data science as well too. So as that, and that is San Diego. All right, next one, UC Santa Barbara. That's like a favorite for a lot of schools. A lot of schools' favorite, a lot of students' favorites is Santa Barbara itself. Santa Barbara. Oop, do I not have numbers? I do have numbers. Santa Barbara had 110,000 applications for a 33% admit rate for this school right over here. They new major, I believe, or they changed their major. They changed their emphasis on the molecular and cell biology. They changed their music bachelor's up a little bit. That's it. That's all I took notes on. I didn't take a lot. My bad. My apologies. Next one, UC Santa Cruz, banana slugs. They had 72,000 applications for 47,000 admits. They built houses. That's it. That's all I wrote. They built new housing. All right. That has been your UC update. I'm gonna take a little pause and try to run through the questions really fast if I know. UCLA music industry very competitive compared to the arts and science majors. I would say so, right? You can kind of see UCLA music, it's bigger percentage, but less people apply. So when you actually break this number, do I have this number somewhere? So UCLA, it's 20%, which sounds like a big number, but this is actually only 218 out of 1,094 applicants there. So that's the percentage is high, but pure number wise, very tiny. Do applicants get filtered out by software, or do lower GPA get a chance to read their apps? That's in a low training. I'll talk about holistic review. Everyone gets read. So no one gets filtered by the UCs. Can you apply if you're not from the area? You can always apply. However, last year, 16 students got in. Year before that was 12, right? So it's very, very, very small. Statistically, you may not get it. So just again, try your best. They're basically trying to revitalize the medical field in the San Joaquin Valley. So that's that purpose of that school there. The UCSD, does it have neuroscience and cognitive science? I don't know. I would Google it. If you Google it, you may find out. There. What's the new computer major at UC San Diego? Did I write it? If I wrote it, then I wrote it. If not, then I will Google it. Did I do it? San Diego. Oh, they're starting a new school, is what it is. They're starting a new school there. They haven't announced the majors yet. Last one, how competitive is the film pathway? Competitive. How competitive is Haas? Competitive. That's your answers. The exact numbers, you can Google it. Statistically, not everyone's gonna make it. Most people don't. Is the math there? That is the end of session number 1 that I went to. You guys liking this session so far? Am I going too fast, too slow, just right? Let me know in the chat. Am I going too fast, too slow, just right? How do I insert a line? Insert. Oh, I can't do it in line. Oh, there we go. Horizontal line. Just right. Too slow. All right. I gotta speed up faster. All right, those who want some notes, go ahead and text me. You guys can take notes on your own as well too, but text me. I'll go ahead and send to you. Just heads up. Every time I say text me, my phone blows up, and I can't text for like 24 hours. So give me 24 hours, and I'll get to you guys there. Go ahead and text UCCC, UC Councelor Conference is what it is, to number right there. All right, next one. This is a pretty good like universal training for everyone. So seniors, I saw we have a lot of seniors. So I had an order to think, but I'm gonna skip around a little bit because I think we have a lot of seniors here. Don't text me, by the way, in the Zoom chat. I'm not gonna see it. So if you want to go ahead and text my phone, text the phone number 949-9832-6472. The word UCCC. Send there. Don't send Zoom. I'm not gonna see on Zoom. All right. So as that. Not saying I don't want to. I just get the chat goes so crazy that we can't do it. Holy moly, we have 400 people tuning us live. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me live in this little platform right here. All right, next trading I want to talk about, which I think is useful for everyone. They call it the UC Application 101, right? So it's a really, really fun trading for everyone. For seniors, this is right up your alley. For anything you're working on right now, for anyone who is not a senior, stuff to prepare for. So it's a really good training there as well, too. They had this really funny picture that I took. I want to share with you guys as well too. If you guys can see the picture on the screen, it says everyone on my floor is coding. And then if you have a picture of a software engineer, happy. You have a doctor, they're all sad. If you guys understand, that is hilarious. That is the lesson of this training, was context is really, really important, right? So that's the biggest takeaway here. So context, let's talk about it, right? So context is defined a few ways, right? Talking about the student's environment, talking about the student's background, talking about the student's circumstances, talking about the student's conditions, talking about the student's connection, talking about the student's viewpoints, and talk about the student's relevancy as well too, right? So the biggest thing is you have to share context for the reader. If you don't, they have no clue how to understand the situation itself. Okay. So the one thing you want to understand is, right, implicit, oh, this is a lot of words. Basically, what you want to do is you want to show explicit context plus relevancy, meaning, right, explicit context means, right, information received that is clear, direct, and without vagueness or ambiguity, right? Plus, right, relevancy, which is the connection between the information shared and the current topic. This is really, really important for seniors to do. Okay. There are the UCs use something called the comprehensive review. There's 13 conditions, 13 that kind of things that they look for. You guys can check it out on your own. Google comprehensive UC look up UC comprehensive review. There's 13 factors, right, that they look for in students itself as well, right? So in terms of and that's the thing you're gonna show context about for each of the categories. So in terms of the UC app, there's a few sections. For those of you, by the way, seniors, has anyone started their apps? Have you opened up the app, created an app, looked through it as well? All right, some people have. Awesome, right? So the sections on your app is going to be the about you, the campuses and majors, the academic history, the test scores, the activities and awards, scholarships and support programs, personal insight, right? So context matters because context provides background information that helps to provide a full picture of circumstances, right? That's gonna be the very, very big one there, right? Here's the example I'll have for you. This wasn't on the thing, but this is like how I can explain this for you guys, right? In the chat, let me know if a student has a 4.1 GPA. Are they good or are they bad? Go ahead and chat. Let me know. Is that good? Is that bad? Student A. Student A has a 4.1 GPA. Some people say good, bad, depends. Wow, we have literally the entire all the options that you have there. Okay. Here's the thing. Let me clarify. Let me prove everyone right. Okay. So condition one, this student has a 4.1 GPA. What if I told you, right? What if, right, this is the only student at this high school to have over a 4.0 because this student went out of their way to take on like online courses, outside courses to up their rigor as well too, right? All that stuff as well too. Wow, this student's amazing, right? Versus this student only took one AP class, and that's why they have a 4.1. However, the rest of their classes are basic, not even honors, basic, right? And everyone in their high school has a minimum of 10 plus honors AP IB courses. If you read that statement, ooh, that student's not that great. But you see how context is super, super important, right? Super, super. Here's another context for you guys, right? Context, like one more example, right? This student had A's and B's, right? That's why they got the 4.1, right? But took a bunch of honors, right, as well too, right? A bunch of honors AP, all that stuff as well too, right? As well, basically, essentially maxing out what their high school offers. In addition to this, right, this student spends 30 plus hours a week on personal coding projects, helping local businesses with their apps as well too. This person started a coding boot camp at their middle school, etc., right? Boom, more context. You see how things alone doesn't mean much, but context of everything means a lot. what people feel is this is the number that people look at and oh, that's it, good, that's bad. The things by itself usually means nothing, right? So you need to know everything. That's what context is. So a few things that they told us to look into, right? Just kidding, not that, but like a few things to keep in mind, right? One thing they talked about is a residency, right? California residency has two divisions, right? There's a residency for admission purposes, and there's a California residency for tuition purposes, right? Admission purposes, if you guys look it up, there's actually only two requirements to apply to the UCs. One, meet your ACG requirements. Number two, have the minimum 3.0 UC GPA if you're a California resident. If you're not, it's a minimum 3.4 UC GPA if non-California resident. That's where the first residency is. The second one is for tuition, right? If you're a California resident, you pay California resident rates, which is the same rates, right? Between what, 15 to 30,000. 15 if you're living at home and just taking the school. 30 is more close, right? Like more like 35 now, right? 35 for like the dorming and all that stuff as well too, right? If you're a non-California resident, not saying you're not from California, people in California might not even be California residents as well too, right? Then you pay the non-California resident rates, which now shoots the number to 60 to 80, 60, can't type, 60 to 80,000 per year. It's a fat tax, super fat tax for being California non-resident, right? Fun little fact for everyone. I don't think, maybe I learned it this weekend. No, I learned it earlier. They may have said it. UCs, by the way, strive to have 18% or less non-California residents. That's the math. That's the math-ish, right? As well too. So those of you who are not from California, internationals, and everything, you're competing for that 18%. Just a fun fact again as well too. Some UCs are above this number. They try to get under a number. You guys can probably guess which ones. The more competitive ones are kind of over a number there, right? So that's that. Fun thing always to bring up because everyone brings it up. Oh man, how many people ask the question? Irked me, right? Demographics does not show up in the admission readers portal side, right? We don't see it at all. And for those of you are saying, like, oh, Coach Tony, you know, they passed, was it 2013 now? I think 2013. The years are blurring, right? The first action, right? Messing everything up. I'm like, not really. The fun fact for you, if you guys want to learn history, go back to poli-sci, right? Back in 1996, California passed Proposition 209, right? Which meant some of our parents here, well, back then, right? When you guys applied to college, it was already, they didn't look at demographics because they played zero role in your admission. So again, the demographics literally is for when you look it up, right? What does it show you on their end of like how many students were this color or this demographic? That's it, right? But it does not play any role in the admission side itself there. The other thing to keep in mind is there's a household information section where it asks you for what's the income and it asks you for family members, right? How many people in the house with this income? This does not, right? This does not factor into FAFSA free money or federal aid, free money, federal aid, right? This section has one purpose and one purpose only. Do you qualify for 4 free fee waivers? Because if your income and your family members are under a certain number, you qualify to apply to 4 UCs for free. If you are above the number, you have to pay for all your UCs. Each school is like $80, right? So it does cost to apply to more schools. But if you fall on threshold, you can Google it, look up UC income family member threshold. It's pretty low. I think like 4 or 5 members for like 30, 40,000. It will meet you there and as well too. So stuff like that. One thing people brought up a lot is you'll see that all the UCs, when you enter it in, they let you pick a major and an alternate major, right? One thing to keep in mind about the alternate major, realistic, this is the real talk now, right? This does not matter. Does not matter, right? You add one just to make you feel good. But realistically, how this process works is that admissions will go through all of first majors first. And if there are spots, then they will go after alternates as well too. You look at numbers, right? Look at these numbers right here, these crazy numbers, right? Any school, let's pick UCLA, right? UCLA, 146,000 people. Do you think there'll be any spots left after they go through all 146,000 people? I highly doubt that. In fact, actually, UCLA, fun fact, doesn't even offer an alternate major anymore because they know that they're never gonna make it to that far either. So that's real talk. Alternate major, it used to be a strategy. Now, because it's so competitive now, all the UCs, doesn't really matter. You can pick whatever you want. They won't really consider it for the most part there. But, and something to keep in mind, they will never pick your alternate over someone else's first major. If someone picked math first major and you pick math second major, they'll pick this person over you, if that makes sense, than anything else there too. Okay. Academic comments, right? This is a good one, right? People, after you put in your academics, by the way, you can put your colleges, your high schools in here. If you took online high schools, UC Scout, BYU, you can add those in here. You went to community college, you can add that in here. There's a section at the very bottom of that section called additional comments, right? Or academic comments, I mean, right? What can you add there? So example, they said you can share school, a personal school or environmental factors that contribute your breaks in attendance if something happened, changes in school/class curriculum, limitations to the number of available honors courses, and non-traditional or other grading system, right? They'll go ahead and talk about that. Next one, test scores, right? Test scores is always a thing that gets brought up a lot as well too. When it comes to test scores, UCs does not consider SAT or ACT for admissions or scholarships, but here's the but for it, can be used for English language placement and placement purposes, right? You submit your test scores to get your English class. However, keep in mind, realistically, this is a lot for the international students. For a lot of the US domestic students, as long as you pass your English classes in high school, you don't need that. The test the test doesn't do anything at all, right? Is that in terms of test scores, reporting non-passing scores is okay, right? UCs does not share test scores. Those of you who haven't done it yet, you'll see that when you submit test scores, you submit for all the schools. Sending it to one school doesn't send it to all the schools, sends it to the one school only, right? And exam scores can be updated, after submission. So after you submit it and things change, that you took a test, you can go back in and change the score itself as well. Okay. Next thing, activities. When it comes to activities section, right? There's 20 slots, right? In 6 categories. The categories as well too. Readers want quality over quantity. List is not ranked, unlike the Common App that ranking does matter. The order does not matter. So I'll just do not ranked. Let's do ordered, because people think that like it's not ordered that way as well too. In the blurbs, I call them the blurbs, the descriptions, right? Use this opportunity, right? So blurb, opportunity to describe roles, responsibilities, accomplishments, impact, persistence, dedication, and service. If you did non-traditional involvement, share that too, right? And include contextual details so the readers know what it is that to understand all those things, right? When it comes to scholarships, there's nothing there's nothing about the section. It's all like they're gonna take your information, send it to the people who are doing that, and they'll send you more information there. So this does not, the scholarship section does not impact admissions one bit. In fact, I didn't even see which ones people picked in this one either. PIQs, right? I've been doing a lot of trainings on PIQs recently. Fun little fact for those who joined me last Saturday, right? So this is a segue, right? Last Saturday, Coach Tony, right? Wrote his PIQs live. Took me 4 hours to get the app done, to get the activities done, and to get the first draft of my PIQs done as well too. If you guys want a copy of that, text me something. Hey, I want a copy of that. It's a 4 hour. You watch me go through the entire process, right? So when people tell me, oh, I can't, the app takes forever. I'm like, no, I got most of it done. I got most of the app done in the 4 hours. That's 4 hours, right? Is the thing there. And I talked to the audience. I had fun as well too. It wasn't the super focus either. Next week, so little teases for everyone who to come back next Tuesday, September 10th, right? Yes, no, Coach Art, the amazing Coach Art, will be joining us, and he will be editing live my PIQs. I haven't shown him. We just got like, hey, Art, I finished it. Can you help edit for me? So you will see how someone on our team will go through a PIQs and edit and like go through and break it apart and everything as well. So if you guys want to join us next Tuesday, it'll be next Tuesday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. And we'll go live again. Coach Art will be here. He'll break down my PIQs in more detail, and that'll be next week's training, if that's okay with you guys there. Okay. But going back to the PIQs, right? The PIQs should provide readers to get to know background, interests, achievements, and challenges, right? You can expand, and provide new information. A little misnomer I hear a lot of people say, like, oh, I already talked about that in my activities. You can still re-talk about it in your PIQs in more detail. That's definitely doable, right? And here's the big one. Here's the big one that I have said it as well too. Big one, AI is a tool. It cannot showcase personality or students' unique voice. Those who know me, I am a huge, absolutely huge proponent of AI. We even have an AI robot inside our coaching program to help our students like middle of the night, right? So I'm really, really big on AI. I highly, highly, highly recommend if you use it as a tool to like brainstorm and that, use it. Do not use it to write it. Two things, right? Number one, I can catch it right away. The last 8 weeks, I think, we've been going to city, helping students with the application process. Those who have seen pictures. This weekend, I'll be heading out to San Jose. So this weekend, I'll be joining Coach Art, Coach David, a few of our other Bay Area coaches. We'll be going back to San Jose Part 2. It's that big. We had to go back there twice. We're going to go there and work with a lot more families this weekend on their personal insight questions, their personal statements, their supplements, their activities, their calls list, all that stuff as well too. Every week, however, I do catch a few students using AI. I don't call them out on it because I let them know in a nice way. But keep in mind, number one, it doesn't showcase who you are. AI is not trained to talk about what the readers are trained to look for. And number two, here's the unknown piece that I don't know. I don't know how colleges are going to view it, right? What if they run everything through an AI detector and it tracks it? Hypothetically, they could as plagiarism. And one of the big UC commandments, no plagiarism. So in theory, right, that may not end out too well. So again, I'm a huge proponent of using AI. Once I can crack the code and figure out how to use the perfect blend of it, I want to teach our coaching families how to leverage that. However, right, big thing, because the tool is so widely used in today's world. That's kind of my 2 cents. They didn't spend too much on it this past conference on it. A lot of people asked a lot of questions. I wanted to, but we ran out of time as well. But again, this is last year. This is this year. Use it as a tool. Don't use it to write your actual things. Because again, I can catch it really quickly because it doesn't sound like a human. And number two, it's not written the right way is the biggest thing there too. All right. That is section number 2. Awesome. Perfect. A few questions. I'm gonna run through questions here. Is the admit Is the admit rate better as a transfer student? Mathematically, yes. Higher percentages, less students. So that's why the thing is better there. Too fast. I've told people I talk really, really fast. You guys got to listen a lot faster. So sorry, not sorry for speaking too fast. Next one, UC Bird computer admin rate, very low. You guys can Google that answer. Not sure. Did you look for what you look for in an applicant as a reader? Did not catch your top 10 majors, went too fast. Pace is great. Thank you. Looked for everything, right? Academics, activities, applications, everything. We do a lot of training on that in the past. So definitely take a peek at our past ones. How competitive the college major at UCLA? It's ecology, competitive. Next one, seems like all engineering was impacted my child's interest in mechanical engineering. What's your advice? Stand out as an engineering student. Again, it's competitive because not many people are gonna make it. It's kind of how life works, right? People, I want to be the best. Cool. There's only one best. There's no, like, again, this is a Coach Tony, like, 2 cents on the world. Parents, you guys can agree, disagree with me. I never liked 8th place trophies, right? When the concept of 8th place trophies kind of destroyed everything, right? If you are first, you are first. And if you're second, you got so close to first, you didn't get first though. 8th, there's nothing to be proud of about 8th. Maybe unless you compete against 1,000 people, right? Then yeah, that's very impressive still. But again, the biggest thing is they're competitive because not everyone's going to make it. You want to be able to make it. So engineering, there's a bunch of overlays for that. Strong math, strong physics, experience in the engineering space. Definitely do that as well. If I apply, will lower my chances, blah, blah, blah. Specialized majors, the easiest way is to get in from the easiest, quote unquote, easiest, is to get in when you apply. Most majors, especially the impacted ones, when you get in and try to switch in, it's really hard. Not saying it's impossible, just really hard. To the point they don't do that, right? Again, think if you guys thought about this, how many other kids have thought about this? How much the school has thought about this as well too, right? What's the best way to get into Berkeley? Econ major, LNS, or Haas Business School? Best way, do well. Best way, do well. Academics, activities, PIQs. In terms of the different ones, they're both under different colleges, right? Statistically, just to answer your question, LNS is a little less competitive than Haas itself. Usually business economic, good one. All majors at UCLA are awesome. Please send notes. Go ahead and text UCCC, not to the Zoom chat, not to Facebook chat. Text on your phone, 949-932-6472. Save as Coach Tony's name, UCCC. Send that off. All right. I do not have time unless I can speed through one training. If you guys want me to speed through one, do a part 2. Let me know in the chat. Should I do a part 2 or try speed through one more training? One more like topic. There are 2, 4, 6, 9 topics, 9 more trainings I went to. You guys want to do part 2 or one more? I see speed, part 2, both. All right. Here's what I do. Let's negotiate. Let's do both. I'm gonna speed through one and we'll do a part 2 in the future. That's okay with you guys? So you guys get a choice now. You guys get a choice. Let me know in the chat. So which one can I speed through really fast? I can speed through, this is a pretty fast one. Math validation is one topic that I went to. Dual enrollment. Actually, no, that's a long one. Okay, I can only do validation. That's the only one I can do really fast. The rest of them are really long. So let me do an AP validation. We'll do a part 2. Okay, I got 5 minutes. I do have another call at the top of the hour, so I can't stay past that. Let's talk about this really fast. By the way, you guys liking this training? Let me know, guys. Yes, in the chat if you guys are having a blast so far. To all our number ones, our first time, you guys liking this, enjoying it as well. I saw a question. Can you tell ethnicity by name? Readers can't use ethnicity. Proposition 209, y'all. We don't be discriminating here. Right? Yes, people like it. Awesome. So math validation. This is new. So this is a new change to the UC math requirement. This is one of the new ones that like shook up the world as well too, right? And then on the bright side of the shakeup, right? So it might affect some of you guys, so as a heads up, right? It might affect some of you guys. If you've been following what we've been teaching though, nothing has changed, right? However, again, if you haven't followed what we've been saying and you disagree with our teachings, this might hurt you as well too. So again, we kind of know what we're talking about. So what happened? Area C, which is the math, right? So A through G requirements are the 15 years of classes you got to take. Area C is math is undergoing a change. So if you are, it's either this year or next year. I think it's next year. Next year's and beyond, it changes for you guys completely, right? So first off, just to break it down, Area C, you need 3 years of math, must include geometry, starts at Algebra 1, 4th year recommend. That's your quick notes. If you leave anything, that's what you need to know, right? 3 years of math must include geometry in one of those 3 years. It's also Algebra 1, 4th year recommendation. Math, Algebra 1 or Math 1, depending on if you're Common Core or not, right? So what has changed? They talked a lot about the history of the change, and we don't need to know about that. New policy. So again, this is affecting next year. So if you are a junior, this is going to be affecting you guys, right? So prior to today, there's a concept called validation. Validation is if you take a higher level math, it can override a missing class. So if you skipped over, it can go back and give you credit for something that you haven't done. Or if you got a bad grade, it can validate the bad grade. So really, again, it's a really complicated concept if you do it. Like for example, right? If I got a D in Algebra 1, but took Algebra 2 and got a B in first semester of Algebra 2, then this B would validate the D. I don't have to retake that Algebra 1 second semester class. That's kind of in theory what it is, right? So it used to be, right? There was something called foundational math, right? Which is your Algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, or those of you in math 1, math 2, math 3, right? There was something called validates algebra 2 and math 3, which is like, it's going to give you credit for the other ones, which was pre-calc, calc, stats, higher math. Right? You took any of the higher classes, it will validate your third semester math. What did not validates is computer science. People have computer science that are math related, doesn't count for there, right? Moving forward from next year on, foundational math is the same, right? So that's the same for everyone. However, math that would validates algebra 2 and math 3 is only now pre-calc, calculus, and other math, right? Did not validate. They're moving over stats, computer science, and additional math. Meaning, a lot of you guys try to get ahead, right? Oh, I'm trying to get ahead with stats. According to the UCs, stats is no longer deemed as getting ahead. It's a different requirement altogether. So that's the big, like the TLDR, that is the biggest one there, right? Even if you took a college, right? Even if you took a college stats class, does not validate Algebra 2 math level 3. So if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at this diagram, right? So this is basically the new validation from this is up to now. So if you're a senior, this is you. Anyone new, this is going to be your chart where you notice no more stats can validate anything anymore there. So again, stats will not validate. You still need geometry. No classes validate geometry. So you need that. And that's it. That has been your validation training for today. Boom. I have finished with 1 minute spare. Thank you everyone for joining me. It was an awesome, fun training for you guys. We will do part 2 very soon. Not sure when. One day, very soon. But if you guys want a copy of my notes, go ahead and text UCCC to 949-832-6472. And I'll go ahead and send to you guys. Probably not today, probably tomorrow. My phone's blowing up. I'm seeing I have 166 texts. That is insane. tomorrow. I'll probably respond back to you guys tomorrow with this link as well too. It's a pleasure. Next week, next Tuesday, we are going live again here. Coach Art is joining me. We're gonna break down, edit my PIQs. You guys can see that. If you guys want a copy of the 4-hour training where I wrote the PIQs, I'll send you that ahead of time. So let me know. Slide in my DMs on Facebook or text me, number right here. I'll grab that order for you so you guys can be ready. So when you come next Tuesday, you'll see Coach Art. You'll see why we call him the student whisperer. He knows how to like dig deep and help our students get to a really, really solid UCSA. That is it for me today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Welcome to September. Wishing everyone a great back to school season. That's it for me. I'll see you guys next week.